Hi, and welcome to New Mexico Rising. My name is Dan. You know, each and every week, I like to bring people from all across the country to talk about cool things to do, things to buy, things to try out, and it's all right here on New Mexico Rising. If you want to be part of the show, all you got to do is email me. Go to newmexicorising@gmail.com. Send me an email. Tell me about your events, who you are, your business. If you're in a band, you got music you want to play, send all that to me because I'm going to play that right here in New Mexico Rising. That's because that's what this show is all about. Talking to people, having fun, and just finding out about New Mexico as well. A little later on the show, I got Joel C. Rosenberg and his new book, The Libyan Diversion. And do you know what the symptoms of a stroke are? And if you notice that one of your friends or family members are having a stroke, how you can save them? I got all that information coming up in a little bit. Plus, how do we read food labels? I'll find out. And a lot more right here on New Mexico Rising. It is officially a wedding season filled with receptions, showers, and engagement parties. So let the celebrations begin. All right, well, here to help make some memorable events is Mr. Theo Rutherford, the head of education for the
Deutsch family wine and spirits.
Welcome to the show, Theo. How are you, buddy?
I'm great. Thank you for having me. You sound like you are ready for the celebrations to begin, so this is good.
I'm always ready. If they're going to be throwing a party and I'm invited, it's going to be a good day. Well, for me at least. I don't know about everybody else. How do we make a memorable wedding reception?
So the biggest thing, you got to remember what it's about, right? It's about you as a couple or the couple that's there, the friends and family that are there, and making those memories. So we're trying to take a little bit of the guesswork out of the bar and out of the wine being served so that we can add to the memories with this and not take it away by wondering whether or not that cocktail is being executed correctly or the wine's nice and chilled.
All right, so what's a wow factor way to impress your wedding guests?
A bubbly tower is a great way to start a reception. So just after the ceremony, people are walking into the reception hall and they see somebody pouring Josh Rosé Prosecco into a nice, tall, bubbly tower. That lovely pink color flowing down the glasses, the bubbles, the effervescence, and the lovely wine that it is. People are going to know that, A, the party's getting started and it's getting started off in the right way.
Great. How could you impress our guests by selecting wines for our celebrations?
This is always the hard part, right? You have so many different people that think they're wine experts that are coming to it or have their different palates and all the different food that you might be serving. So we're trying to keep it simple with two selections. The first is going to be Cave de Lugny, which is an unoaked Chardonnay from Burgundy. I know some people have already heard Chardonnay, they're already out. Stay with me here. So with this, because it's unoaked, it's got a lot of great acidity, minerality, and the fruit characteristics in it are lovely. And it pairs really well with those vegetarian dishes or chicken or fish, anything that you have that's a little bit lighter. Now for somebody that likes the red wine, a Malbec-based blend like Clos de l'Osiete is going to be perfect for those meat dishes, but it's also not too heavy so you can actually drink it throughout the night and it's not going to wear you out with tannins.
All right. So how can we personalize some of these cocktails that we're serving for our wedding?
So we took two classics like a margarita and an old fashioned and just do a little bit of a twist on it so it seems like you've done a whole lot of legwork. So for the margarita, you first have to start with a good tequila, and Cantera Negra is the way to go here. So with Cantera Negra, you get lovely minerality. It's got some cooked agave flavors, but because we're using the reposado, it's seen a little bit of oak. So you have some lovely vanilla and caramel from that oak that's going to balance out some of the other flavors in the margarita. After that, the way to personalize it is what goes on the rim or the garnish you're using. So the rim that we did, we used a little bit of tahini to add a little bit of spice and a little bit of characteristic to that. And then some dried fruit instead of fresh fruit that looks a little bit more elegant. Where the old fashioned is concerned, using Redemption rye. So you have something that's big and bold and spicy. Redemption's really trying to bring rye back to the forefront. And then adding something like a peach bitters or a fruit bitter that adds a little bit of levity to the drink as well. So that way, again, it tastes like you've hired some top mixologist wherever you are, but really you've just changed one or two simple things that personalize them for you.
All right, what about the after dinner drink?
So since you're already using something like Cantera Negra, use it again. It's already on the back bar. You don't have to do something like breaking your bank or breaking out of the sort of recipe box. Using Cantera Negra, going into also the Cantera Negra Cafe. The Cafe is 100% agave spirit that's been steeped with Mexican espresso beans. So lovely, vibrant espresso flavor. And adding that with the tequila and your fresh coffee or fresh espresso adds a little bit of caffeine to the party as well. So it keeps people on the dance floor, keeps the party moving as long as you want it to.
And just for planning purposes, if I have like 200 people showing up, how many bottles do you think I need?
That's a great question. So usually you think about 1 to 2 drinks per person per hour. So, and as the time goes on, they drink a little bit less. So for a bottle of wine, that's about 5 to 6 servings. And for a bottle of spirits, that's actually a lot more. So you're getting about 15 to 16 per bottle of spirit. So do the math there, however many people you've got, it should help out. But again, 1 to 2 drinks per person per hour is where you plan.
Well, that's good for planning. So where can we go for more information, my friend?
For more information on all the brands we talked about or others that you might see, DeutschFamily.com should have everything you need.
And that is Theo Rutherford, who's an amazing human and helping us get us through our parties this holiday season of parties. That's what it is. The holidays too. Why not?
Yeah, later on, sure.
Thanks, Theo.
Thanks, Dan.
You know, summer is for reading novels, and today I've got an action-packed book for your consideration. So joining us from Israel is best-selling author Joel Rosenberg to preview the Libyan Diversion, his newest political thriller ripped from the headlines. Welcome to the show, Joel. How are you?
Great to be with you, Dan, and a shout out to all my friends in Albuquerque. Love New Mexico, love Albuquerque.
Well, there you go. A little New Mexico love for this morning. All right, what's the inspiration for the brand new novel, my friend?
Well, a few years ago, I was sitting down having a conversation with a friend of mine. He happens to be the former director of the Central Intelligence Agency, former Secretary of State, Mike Pompeo. I'd gotten to know him when he was in Congress because he'd become a fan of my political thrillers, and so we've just built a great friendship over the years, and he endorsed the Libyan diversion. But 2.5 years ago, I said, hey, Mr. Secretary, I've written about Russia, I've written about North Korea, I've written about Iran, all these terrible threats. What am I not writing about? What keeps you up at night that I'm not focused on, but I should be? And he said, northern Mexico. That border between U.S. and Mexico is a huge problem. The Mexican government is essentially surrendering large swaths of northern Mexico to drug cartels, human trafficking organizations, organized crime syndicates, and the possibility of terrorists entering the United States is a real threat through Mexico if we don't seal up that border. Well, that conversation freaked me out, Dan, and I thought that would be a chilling novel, a great political thriller, and that's what the Libyan diversion is really about. What if terrorists actually come through that border and bring radiological, nuclear, dirty bombs to pull off attacks far worse than 9/11.
All right, so what is one of the reactions that you hope people will take from reading this novel?
That they go and buy the rest of the Marcus Riker series about the CIA operative that's the centerpiece of the Libyan diversion.
Well, thank you for that. Where can we go for more information? Where can we pick up the novel? I know I'm running out of time with you, but you're busy. You're busy today.
Yeah, joelrosenberg.com to learn more about what I'm doing and all the books. And you certainly can get the book at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, any of your favorite bookstores will have the Libyan diversion just out this week.
Well, sounds good. Whenever you're back in Albuquerque, look me up. We'll go get some food or something.
I would love that. Thank you so much, Dan.
And coming up a little later, we got tips for moms, all right here on New Mexico Rising. Well, one of the most challenging jobs in the world is being a mother. I should know. I'm just kidding. No, I don't know that at all. But everyone can appreciate anything that reinforces that mommy matters. Well, I know my own mom. I guess that counts. So joining us today with some time, and I know some good moms out there. Okay, everything I said is just wrong, all right? Joining us today with some time-saving tips for helping moms is parenting expert Amanda Mushro. Amanda is a mother of 3 who appeared weekly on the TLC web series TLC Life Hacks, and she shared parenting advice on shows like Today, The Rachel Ray Show, and this show right here. Welcome to the show, Amanda Mushro. How are you?
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, why is it important for moms to find those time-saving shortcuts?
You know, moms are always looking to master that fine art of multitasking. And I have a 13, 11, and a 3-year-old. So I always feel like I'm finding new ways to multitask. Sometimes I feel like Superwoman, sometimes I'm not. But a lot of times it comes down to time management and finding products that just make your life a whole lot easier.
All right, so do you have any advice for helping moms keep the kids clean and moisturized, and less dirty?
You know, it can be a battle to get your kids to wash their hands, but Dove is here to help with their new line of advanced care hand wash. It has Moisture Boost 5X Complex. It effectively removes dirt and germs in seconds while moisturizing you and your little one's hands for hours. Now, the new hand washes are available in liquid and foaming, and I have to say my kids love the foaming hand wash. And it's diffused with a unique blend of moisturizers and nutrients that nourish skin 10 layers deep for soft, smooth hands. So with Dove, moms can rest assured their kids' hands are clean and moisturized with their new collection of hand washes.
All right, so what do you recommend for moms to help them take care of babies?
You know, babies are just so precious, and we're always looking for things that are perfectly designed for our little ones. And for me, that is Huggies Natural Care Sensitive Baby Wipes. Now, these are thicker and more absorbent. So they're going to give you a better clean, and that's why I love them for babies. Huggies Natural Care Sensitive Wipes are the #1 branded baby wipe because they're gentle and soft on your baby's delicate skin. They're hypoallergenic and paraben free. And I love that when you take the wipes out, just one comes out at a time. They all don't come falling out. And they also receive the National Eczema Association seal of acceptance for use on sensitive skin.
Okay, so what are some suggestions to get kids to want to love to read?
I love StoryPod. Now, kids are going to think that StoryPod is just a regular toy, but it's really so much more. It is an audio learning system that helps parents engage their kids without screens. So we absolutely love that. So it's made for ages 0 through 6. So this is something that is going to grow with your little ones, whether they are a baby, an infant, or a toddler. And if you have more than one child at home, they will both enjoy playing with StoryPod. So it features content that boosts their speech, literacy, and listening comprehension, and it uses these little yarn characters to read along books. And now kids can listen to songs and books that their parents record on their own using this StoryPod parent app. So your little ones will be so amazed when they hear their favorite stories being read by their loved ones.
Can you share a top tip for showing that mommy really matters?
Here's my favorite tip. I use this every night right before bed. I set a timer on my phone and I tell my kids, let's see how much we can clean up in just 5 minutes. So they're picking up toys, they're putting their shoes away, hanging up book bags, I'll tackle the kitchen. And you really can get so much done in 5 minutes when you have some help. And then when the timer goes off, everybody is done and we head upstairs and start the bedtime process.
Thank you very much. Where can we go for more information?
You can head over to tipsontv.com.
Thank you for joining me, Amanda.
Thank you.
You know, many people don't realize that the faster they act at the sign of a stroke, the better their chance of survival. Nearly 2 million brain cells die every minute when a stroke goes untreated. The good news is that stroke patients can recover in addition to acting quickly and calling 911. A minimally invasive procedure can help severe stroke patients recover. So today, we have Dr. Jenny Tsai to talk more about the importance of acting quickly and knowing what to do when you or someone else has a stroke. Welcome to the show, Dr. Tsai. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
All right. What are the signs of a stroke?
Yeah, that's a very important question. So we have an acronym that makes it easy for everybody to remember, and it's called B FAST. So on top of delivering the key message, B stands for balance when there's a sudden loss of balance. E stands for eyes when there's a sudden loss of vision or blurry vision. F is for face when the face becomes droopy. A stands for arm and leg when there is sudden weakness of the arm or the leg. And S is for speech, when you have trouble enunciating your words, when you have trouble speaking, or when you have trouble understanding what is being said to you. And T is perhaps the most important part of this message. T stands for time. As you mentioned, we can lose 2 million brain cells a minute when we're having a stroke. So call 911, and that's really the most crucial part.
So why is it so important to act quickly if you think someone is actually having a stroke?
But with every minute that passes, we can see accumulation of disability. And we know that the brain can hang in there for some time until we get the blood flow back. When we lose 2 million brain cells a minute, that goes fairly quickly.
So what procedures can help patients return to regular life after, if they have one?
Certainly. So when someone comes into the hospital with a stroke, if they're able to get a big so-called clot-busting medication, properly known as TPA or TNK, that is going to be delivered through the IV very quickly. But in the meantime, when we look at the most severe and the most disabling stroke called large vessel occlusions, a procedure called mechanical thrombectomy can be performed by myself and colleagues like me. We basically will thread a catheter up from the leg or the arm, going all the way up, thread it up to the brain where the clot is, and we can retrieve that clot and get it out of the passage that is so crucial to get the blood to the brain.
All right, well, Dr. Jenny Tsai, thank you for joining me this morning. Where can we go for more information?
Yeah, we actually have a website with the Society of Neurointerventional Surgery, through the Get Ahead of Stroke campaign, and that is simply getaheadofstroke.org.
Well, thank you for joining me this morning.
Thank you very much.
You know, Americans are a population of snackers. Yet, do we really know what snacks we are choosing and putting in our beak? I hear that 7 out of 10 men and half of women surveyed say they believe their current snacks have nutritional value. Unfortunately, there's a lot of confusion on what is considered healthy or healthful. Nutrition labels are designed to be transparent, but many people don't really understand what they're looking at when they read one. So today, I have registered dietitian, nutritionist Bonnie Taub-Dix, who's here to tell us a bit about those labels and shed a little light on what we're actually eating and reading at the same time. Bonnie, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Dan. Nice to be here. We love our snacks in this country. And in fact, so many of us are replacing up to 4 meals a week with snacks. And that's why it's so important that we choose them wisely, because they're kind of like mini meals. Not only do you want them to be indulgent and fun, they also should have some nutritional value so that they could keep you feeling fuller longer and also meet your nutritional needs.
So what is a healthy way to incorporate snacks in our daily routine?
You know, I think it's really important that you read food labels. And we have a tendency to pay more attention to what we're putting on our bodies than in our bodies, meaning our clothing and shoes as opposed to foods and beverages. And I know that it's overwhelming to go food shopping. That's why I wrote a whole book on the topic. But I try to help people make quick, easy decisions by using the power of the food label to guide them. So when you're going food shopping and you want to pick a healthy snack or any healthy food, you kind of have to ask yourself, what are you looking for? Am I looking for protein to help keep me feel more full, calcium to strengthen your bones? Maybe you're just looking for a short ingredient list. Whatever you're looking for, just know that those answers are actually on the food label.
So a new study found that Americans have a lot of trouble reading the nutrition labels. What are we looking at on these labels, and how do we even look at them?
Try to pick out the things that are most important to you and to your family. Do you need to think about the calories in food? And if you do, don't just look at calories because that number doesn't tell you that much information. You need to look at the ingredient list. That's also so important.
All right, so what's the ideal nutritional combination for a snack that makes you feel full for a longer time?
When I look for a combo, I look for the perfect trifecta. So protein, fat, and carbohydrate together help keep you feeling the most full and satisfied, but also help stabilize your blood sugar levels. I'll give you a perfect example. I love Wisps. They're a baked cheese snack that is basically just made of cheese. So the protein in the cheese helps to keep you feel more full. The calcium helps to strengthen your bones. And also it pairs perfectly with so many of the foods that we should be eating more of, like fresh fruits and veggies, dried fruit, nuts. And they're perfect for dunking. We all love to dunk in hummus or guacamole or even a bean dip.
I love those Wisps so much that I could sit and eat like a whole bag in one sitting. So it's more of a meal than, a snack for me. But they're so good. I love them. All right, where can we go for more information?
Well, I'm sure that you would like to visit on Instagram at Wisp Snacks, and you can visit me at Bonnie Taub-Dix.
Well, thank you for joining me this morning, Bonnie.
Nice to be here, Dan.
And coming up a little later, shiny, happy people. Yes, TV stars that have a dark underbelly. We talked to a documentary about it, all right here on New Mexico Rising. As we enter a new phase of the pandemic, there are changes on the horizon that impact how we get our medical care. Our next guests are founding partners of Primary Care for America, a new collaboration of experts committed to educating people about the value of prioritizing high-quality primary care for everybody. And joining us today are Dr. Toni Richards-Rawley, a pediatrician and member of the American Academy of Pediatrics, and Dr. Felix Valbuena, a family physician and leader with the National Association of Community Health Centers. Welcome to the show, you two.
Thank you.
Hello, thank you for having us.
All right, Dr. Valbuena, what is primary care and why is it crucial for our overall health and well-being?
Well, primary care plays an important role in supporting the overall health and well-being of individuals, families, and communities. And it includes day-to-day care to prevent, diagnose, and manage chronic disease. For children, comprehensive primary care includes regular well-child checkups, immunizations, and screenings. And for adults, it includes routine physicals, screenings and exams, blood pressure checks, blood work, and behavioral health services. Ultimately, primary care ensures that patients can receive the health care and services they need to be healthy.
Dr. Richards-Rawley, the COVID-19 public health emergency has now come close to an end. What does that mean for access to primary care?
So during the pandemic, the United States took important actions to safeguard patient access to primary care, like protecting health insurance coverage and making it easier for people to connect with their doctors through telehealth. A policy was put into place to make sure that Medicaid coverage during the pandemic was not lost. With the public health emergency ending, states are now in the process of reviewing their programs and checking to see who is still eligible. During this process, we expect 15 million people to lose their Medicaid coverage, and that includes 5 million children. The COVID-19 pandemic underscored the importance of primary care at a time when Americans were often looking to their physicians for guidance and how to navigate the crisis and keep their families safe. It is essential that we keep working to advance this progress.
All right, so what can families do to ensure they don't experience disruptions in their care?
So any gaps in care and healthcare coverage can be detrimental. We know that when someone is uninsured, they are more likely to delay or go without the care that they need. For a child, this could mean going without medications or skipping doses, missing important vaccinations or monitoring for conditions like asthma or diabetes, or even ending up in the hospital for a health issue that went untreated. It is important that families have healthcare coverage that they can rely on. If you or your family has Medicaid coverage, it is critical that you make sure your contact information is up to date with your state Medicaid program so that you can be notified of any changes. Families deserve peace of mind that they will be able to access the care that they need when they need it, and it is imperative that no one slips through the cracks.
All right, Dr. Valbuena, what can we do to provide access to primary care for all Americans?
It's critical that we strengthen the primary care workforce, continue to access to underserved communities through efforts like telehealth and community health centers. And we also need to protect and expand Medicaid. Importantly, we need help from policymakers to protect and expand access to primary care services. We know that more than 1 in 5 Americans rely on Medicaid for their health insurance. And this includes children, parents, seniors, pregnant people, people with disabilities, and low-income adults.
All right, so where can we go for more information?
Visit primarycareforamerica.org, primarycareforamerica.org, to see what's possible when we prioritize primary care.
All right, well, thank you two for joining me this morning.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
We are thrilled to have a couple of documentarians on our show. Let's welcome Olivia Christ and Blythe Faust behind the new limited series, Shiny Happy People, Duggar Family Secrets. This eye-opening series uncovers the truth behind the popular Duggar family and their ties to a radical religious organization. Welcome to the show, you two. How are you guys doing?
We are great. Thank you for having us. It's good to be here.
So what inspired you guys to create a docu-series about the Duggar family and the Institutes of Basic Life Principles?
Yeah, so I think, everyone kind of is familiar with the Duggar family. They were on TV for a very long time. But what they don't know about is really the belief system behind the family, which is the IBLP, the Institute in Basic Life Principles. And what was going on behind the scenes with this organization is just a lot of abuse, and a lot of people have been hurt by this. So I think for us, we really wanted to bring those stories, those survivor stories, to the forefront. So the people could have the chance to be able to tell their own stories and reveal the truth.
So were there any challenges in uncovering the truth behind the Duggar family and their involvement with the Institute?
Like any of these investigative pieces, it takes time and a lot of effort, right? And because you really do need to get people to be willing to speak on the record and to come forward and really share like the deepest, sometimes like the most harmful, hurtful secrets that they have been suppressing for a long time. So it did. I would say that there were a lot of people who were very ready to tell their story and really were so forthcoming. And then there was, some others that we just took a little bit more time to get them to the table. But I think they realized that we were going to tell this in a way that was respectful, that was thoughtful, and that we certainly were always going to put the survivors' interests, first above everybody else.
So do you guys have any sneak peeks on upcoming projects you have in development?
So I'm a member of Storyforce, and we definitely, I think the common thread that you'll see through our work and is that we also did Spotlight and Lula Rich and others, and it's really about exposing these harms that are hiding in plain sight. Oftentimes bullying, whether it's an individual, an institution, and especially those where the greatest harms are often to the most vulnerable, women, children, and other vulnerable populations. And so for us, we have some more coming down the pike, and I think Shiny Happy People is 100% emblematic of that. And I think everybody will be blown away by just how deep the harmful practices that were part of the IBLP, how far they go into our greater society and political system as well. And I think that's incredibly important. I think will be really surprising for a lot of people.
Well, thank you for joining me this morning. Where can we follow you guys? And we can tell everybody, check out Shiny Happy People. It's available on Amazon Prime. And we can follow you guys for more information on some of your projects. Where do we go?
I have a website at chickentertainment.com. You can look there for anything that we're doing. We do commercials and have a lot in development as well for other documentary projects.
And you can find us at Storyforce Entertainment. It's story-force.co.
Thank you for joining me this morning. And yes, check out Shiny Happy People. It's available on Amazon Prime. Thank you, too.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
And that's it for New Mexico Rising. I want to thank you guys for being part of the show. Remember, if you want to be part of the show, all you got to do is email me, newmexicorising@gmail.com. Just send me an email. Tell me about the events, your business, if you're in a band, want to get your music played. I'll do all that here, all right? It's real simple. newmexicorising@gmail.com. And I will talk to you next week right here from New Mexico Rising.